All right, YouTube, welcome back to Food for Thought. And the topic of conversation for today's episode is going to be just me kind of reflecting on my personality traits and, in specific, my tendency to kind of be all or nothing, go fully into something or don't commit at all to it. And I'm going to be talking about food-ish, sort of, for that, but it's kind of it's an all-encompassing topic. But yeah, let's make some breakfast here. I'll show you guys the ingredients for today's breakfast. Avocados finally ripe, so got one of those in there. We're gonna be slicing that up. Some just sliced bread. Throw that in the toaster. And back into the fridge it goes. We've got some smoked salmon here. Take off the lid and show you guys that. It's kind of butchered, but there you go, smoked salmon. Macros are excellent on this thing, and I just love it too. Tastes very good. Got some grape tomatoes. Simple stuff. Got half of a lemon in here. Just gonna be using that to put on top of the toast. And I have 2 eggs in here. The reason that they're in this container, it's a funny story. I had my carton of eggs right here, kind of on the edge of the counter here, and I forget what I did, but I ended up dropping them on the floor, and then they kind of dropped and all cracked all on the bottom. Luckily, there was only 2 eggs left though in the carton, so I just took them out of the carton and plopped them in here, and there we go. Now I can use them still, and didn't make a mess. So cottage cheese, a staple in this breakfast, if you guys know, and butter in here, just for the pan. So let's get started. I'm gonna quickly prepare everything that I need really quick, because I need to slice this avocado in half and also throw out all of these seeds, lemon seeds. I don't know about you guys, but lemon seeds might be the most annoying thing on the planet. Obviously not, I'm just joking, but man. Okay, I'm not joking. This seed won't come out. There we go. All right. Let's get this avocado. I'm excited because the avocados are finally ripe. So now I can eat those with the breakfast. I don't know if you guys have been watching the previous recipes or just food for thought. I don't know if I did any food for thought episodes with this breakfast or not, but I haven't been able to use the avocados because they weren't ripe. And now they're finally ripening up, which is perfect. So I just like to store my avocados kind of in the same container as my lemon, just because I don't have that much space in my fridge. But that's gonna go perfect on some avocado toast. And let's get started with the actual making of the food. I think I might try just like a camera angle like that. There we go, hopefully that's good. All right, so if you guys want me to change the camera angle or anything, just let me know in the comments and I'll take that into consideration for the future episodes. So, topic of conversation today is going to be the aspect of my personality where I kind of have to be all in on something or not do it at all. And this isn't for everything in my life, obviously, but something that I've noticed just as, sorry for that. I just opened up my fridge and whacked the tripod. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix this, make sure that it looks good. You guys get a good view. Right, so take for example, it was just Halloween, right? And normally I try to keep a very clean diet. I don't let myself eat, too many like sweets or anything like that on a regular basis. But then it leads to, when I do eat sweets, I just open the floodgates and it just goes I just go all in. Like these past couple of days for Halloween stuff, Halloween celebrations and whatnot, have been off the rails, I'll be honest. Like, I've just been eating so much chocolate, so much candy, and it seems like once I eat the first one, it's just I can't stop. But normally I don't even eat the first one, right? Because normally I will just tell myself, okay, I'm not going to have those sweets. I'm not going to have any of that. And I don't know if it's doing that has made me, in a way, I don't know if restricting myself makes it so that when I do have it, it's harder to only have a little bit of it. I don't know if that's just how my personality is. I don't know if that's something that just I've developed. And oh, this avocado is perfectly ripe, by the way. I don't know why you care, but amazing. I like to slice my avocados down the length like this, just for when I'm making avocado toast. Like this, pretty finely, and then I like to score them the other way and just kind of get, not really cubes, but rectangles. I just like how it spreads across the toast more evenly, and it just makes it easier for me, personally. There we go. This is looking really good. And I think that's become a part of my personality. It wasn't always like that, to be honest. I feel like I used to be relatively balanced, and I don't know if this has developed due to maybe me tracking my food or something like that, maybe me becoming a little obsessed over what I eat. But it's weird because I think about it and I'm like, okay, normally I'm extremely picky about what I let myself eat. But then when I pick out these specific time frames or specific days or specific meals or whatever, where I'm like, okay, this meal, I'll let myself eat what I want, then it's just over the top eating way more than I actually need to, right? And I feel maybe it's because I sort of know subconsciously that I'm gonna go. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear me that well when the sink is running, so I'm gonna just stop talking for a second. Yeah, I don't know if it's because I know subconsciously that I'm gonna go back to having like a very strict diet or a very strict routine or something like that. And then maybe subconsciously I want to fit in as much as possible in the allotted time that I have allowed for myself, or the allotted meal, whatever it is, in that specific, just in that specific time, I want to fit as much in as I can, because I know that I'll tell myself, okay, that was that. Now we got to focus up and go back to whatever my routine was before. Now that's my analysis on maybe why that's happening, but talking about whether I should change anything is a whole nother story, because I do think that it could be an issue that it feels as though I have to either be all in or I just can't help myself whenever I do let myself indulge. Maybe that's something that I can develop more, though. I'm not sure. Or maybe that's something where I need to allow myself to have these things in moderation so that I don't feel like I need to capitalize on when I allow myself to actually have treats and stuff like that, or whatever it is. It's not necessarily always food, but food is just like a pretty big part of my life. Ooh, that was hot. Food's just a pretty big part of my life, right? So that's why I'm talking about this, because it comes up quite often for me. All right, let's get this smoked salmon on the avocado toast. You guys are going to see the full final form now of this breakfast for the first time. I'm excited. because it is delicious. I think I made a mistake by, I normally freeze the smoked salmon, and I wanted to have it one day, but I realized that the salmon that I had in the refrigerator wasn't going to be enough for one whole meal, so I took some out of the fridge and tossed it in the microwave because it's really thin, right? So it melted pretty quickly, but I don't know if that was the best thing because some of it became, like the edges kind of seemed like they became pretty dry, which I didn't think would happen, but either way, I won't do that again in the future, but it still tastes delicious, so I don't mind too much. I gotta focus up for these eggs. My flipping skills haven't been on par recently. There we go. Last one. There we go. Much better than in recent times. All right, let me get the vegeta. This is my family's secret recipe. Not secret recipe, secret ingredient for fried eggs. Just sprinkle some on there. Perfect. I lost my train of thought, to be honest, of where I was before. So I'll just pick up where I believe that I left off. So yeah, it's tough to kind of analyze because I also have the thought maybe I can just allow myself to, or maybe it's like a skill that I can develop to be able to not overdo it when I let myself have some of something, right? So, because I haven't been doing like a healthy, super healthy diet for that long, maybe only a few months at this point. And also, I'm also shifting my diet from being extremely strict on like only whole food, not only whole foods, but vast majority whole foods, like not getting any sauces or anything like that, and kind of eating the same things every day. I think that leads to me feeling like I need to have one of those days, one of those meals, one of those weekends where I just let myself loose. But I think if I introduce a little bit more moderation and I'm less strict on what I eat to a degree, in that, like to a degree that I'm still happy with, I feel like that could be beneficial. And that's actually another example of this personality trait of mine, is me trying to eat healthy versus not really caring if I'm eating healthy at a certain given point, right? It feels like when I try to eat healthy, it's like I'm either eating completely whole foods, like the healthiest stuff, or I'm going out and eating fast food, right? For example, I don't even know if this is true or not, but for some reason in the mind, there's the stigma that kind of like sauces, like soy sauce and whatever else, other sauces kind of like that, or like vinaigrettes, stuff like that, are unhealthy. So for the last few months, I haven't really been eating any of those types of things. I haven't been allowing myself to have those sauces and stuff because I'm like, oh, I'm eating, whole foods. I don't want to have any of that stuff. But if you guys make food, you know the difference that a tiny little bit of sauce can make in a meal. It can completely transform how it tastes, right? So, and the thing is, I don't even know if things such as soy sauce are unhealthy necessarily, or especially because it's not like I'd be eating it in huge quantities. So I feel as though maybe if I let myself have some of those things, then I'm not gonna just feel as though I need to have these weekends or meals or weeks, or sorry, not weeks, or days where I just go all in because I already really enjoy what I eat. And I do enjoy what I eat right now, but it gets a little stale sometimes when I'm eating just the same thing over and over and over. Which brings into another factor. I think I'm going to try to diversify or expand my arsenal when it comes to, hold up, I gotta add some lemon juice first actually. When I have the avocado on there, I like to add the lemon juice after the avocado instead of after the cottage cheese, because the lemon juice, if you just add it straight onto the salmon sort of acts like a water repellent, or like a lemon juice repellent, and it just all falls off the toast is what I found. But when I have the avocado on there, it sort of absorbs it. I don't really know what the term would be. It doesn't. I know it doesn't absorb it, but traps it. Yeah, that's a better word. Traps it on the top of the avocado toast here, so that I can actually keep the lemon juice on without having it fall, like run off the edges. There we go. This is gonna taste amazing. Because you see, I don't know if you can see. Sorry if my head was in the way there. But you can see that there's kind of all these crevices for the lemon juice to go into and to seep into. And if you just put it straight over the smoked salmon, there's none of that, and it's just gonna all run over onto the edge of the plate. So variety, yes, I want to start adding some more variety into my arsenal so that I'm not just eating the same thing every day, because I do enjoy what I eat. But then I don't know if it's subconscious, I don't know what it is, but even if I'm enjoying what I'm eating, it feels as though almost if I'm eating the same thing every day, then I still just feel the need to switch something up. And that usually comes in the form of one of those cheat meals. But if I just have a larger arsenal of these healthy meals, then when I feel as though I need a switch up, then I can switch to a healthy meal instead of switching to an unhealthy meal. You know, it's pretty simple, but I don't know if it's just because I've been busy with school or haven't just really thought about it, but I had to also expand my knowledge on actually what other foods am I willing to eat, right? Because I want to keep a healthy diet. So you got to do some research when you are doing stuff like that on what am I going to eat, basically. I love cottage cheese. Never used to eat it, but over these past couple months, oh man, so underrated in my opinion. Tastes so good, and the macros are great as well. Perfect. Spread around this cottage cheese over the top of the toast, and then the bread's gonna be, it's been out of the toaster for a while, so it's gonna be a little soggy. Maybe also some of the lemon juice as well, but then I like to throw it on the pan. The pan is literally set to like as low of heat as possible. And just while I'm preparing the rest of the meal, throw these on the pan, and it'll crispen up the bottom and make sure that they stay warm. But I will let you guys know how this journey goes with me and my diet. And maybe that can be a help to some of you guys if you're also struggling to keep a healthy diet, or if you struggle with this all or nothing personality trait that I seem to have found myself having or being in possession of. All right. I just sharpened this knife actually too. Oh yeah. Wow, that cuts way better. Okay. I've been watching some cooking tutorials and stuff on YouTube. Gordon Ramsay, Nick DiGiovanni, if you guys know, if you know, you know. And oh, hold up, I gotta count these to track them. 26 of them. Write that down. There we go. All right, now I can slice them. Yeah, I've been watching some cooking tutorials recently just because I want to up my chefing skills. And they say that sharp knife is imperative for success, and actually having a dull knife is dangerous because, well, they didn't say why, but you can assume that it's because the knife doesn't act the way you want, might not act the way that you want it to or that you expect, and that can lead to you cutting yourself. If you guys haven't cut yourself yet in the kitchen, I'm almost tempted to say that, look, let me rephrase that. If you say that you like to cook or that you like to make food and you haven't cut yourself in the kitchen yet, I think that you haven't actually made really any food, because that has to be a universal experience for everyone that's ever made some food. I cut myself for the first time making food, like a noticeable cut, you know, like I've probably had like a little nick here and there, but I was chopping up, I was cutting some sweet potatoes, and I remember I definitely did not have the right technique for cutting those sweet potatoes. And sweet potatoes are kind of difficult, at least for me, or they were to cut, because they're so hard sometimes, right? So, and they're weirdly shaped as well. And I remember, I think I was holding the potato like this, and I had the knife, and it somehow slipped, kind of twisted somehow, and then boom, knife right on my finger there. And I don't know if you can see, there's a little extra kind of line right here. You might think that that's part of my knuckle, but actually no, that's just part of the scar actually. So there's my battle wounds. All right, I'm gonna throw these eggs in the microwave really quick, just because I like my eggs to be nice and warm. And I also don't really mind them being in the microwave. I know some people probably have a preference against that, because I don't know, if they maybe feels like their food isn't as fresh. But for me, honestly, I don't really notice a difference. So make it how you like, obviously, but this is just the order that I like to make the stuff. And that is basically it. Wait for those to get out the microwave, and there's the full complete breakfast. I think I'll actually make like a full recipe for this one, for this this breakfast with the avocado toast, just because I want to. It's a little bit the avocado actually makes quite a big difference in my opinion. So I think that that's something that I'll do, just because I also like making the videos, right? So, and take these out. They're gonna be nice and crispy on the bottom, nice and toasted. And there you go. There is my breakfast for the morning, and I'll give you guys the concluding thoughts for this food for thought episode. So this obsessive all or nothing personality trait that I have identified in myself, I think it has developed in me from the kind of obsessive things that I've been doing, working a lot, tracking all my food, stuff like that, I'm a little worried that it's unhealthy for me, but I think that it's kind of like it's almost like a pendulum. I'm trying to find the balance right in the middle where I'm happy with what I'm doing and the progress that I'm making, but I also am not obsessing over every little detail, because this kind of all falls under me trying to get the most out of my time and trying to waste as little time as possible, but also trying to live a fulfilled life. At the end of the day, that's what it all boils down to. And I'm still trying to find that balance. But for me, I'll just give you my food example. I'm going to try to expand the amount of healthy meals that I know how to make so that I don't feel like I'm just stuck eating the same stuff over and over and over. So I think that will make it so that I don't feel the need to splurge on these cheat meals. I think I'll also just loosen up slightly on what I allow myself to eat here and there. Like, I recently bought some soy sauce. I think I'm going to be, like I also have, I recently bought some just Frank's hot sauce, stuff like that. That used to be stuff that I was like, no, I'm not going to have that. But I think that as long as I look at, the healthiest options for those things, and this is just a decision for me that I'm making. I think that I'm okay with that stuff. So, final point, I don't really know, to be honest. There's not really a final conclusion to this. It's just me thinking out loud. So, thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next episode.